Hi guys, so today I want to talk about one of my students' questions. In this case was about prepositions and typical repeated mistakes that you cannot avoid, you cannot help making, right? So this student in particular is asking me for the phrases and collocations and the phrasal verbs and the fixed prepositions that go with fixed phrases and with fixed phrasal verbs, right? One of my students said, I don't understand why it goes one or the other. So one preposition or the other. For example, in the phrase, make an attempt at doing something, that's the one that we are practicing in class at the moment, right? I always write on instead of at. And now, thinking about that, I don't understand why I always make the same mistake. It is possible that I do it without thinking so much, because not even in my native language, putting the on doesn't make sense. And I mean, this is 100% true. This is 100% true. Many collocations and expressions in English do not have an explanation. Like, we don't know why it's one preposition or the other. Sometimes it's just the way it is. And you just need to learn it by heart. Unfortunately, that's the only solution. But I can help you learn better, okay? I can help you with little tricks that could help you, that could make this repetition and memorization easier so that we reduce mistakes. So if you feel like my student, if you feel that you are making the same mistakes all the time, that you are stuck in a rut, I'm going to share some tips with you to improve your learning and change this game completely. So tip number 1, make a demon list. So my demon list is basically like a demon, okay? And is the typical words, the typical phrases with a mistake that you always make, okay? And that's the list. The list only with the demons, okay? With the bad guys that I'm making mistakes all the time. And try to make sentences with these expressions from your life, like make it personal for you. Talk about your parents, your sister, your friend, your best friend, your dog. Make it personal for you, or even yourself or your teacher, okay? You can talk about Nellie. You can make sentences using Nellie. Nellie made an attempt at improving her students' mistakes. Nellie made an attempt at improving her students' English. For example, there is a lot of research about this, that making it personal for you improves memory. And having some context connected with these expressions makes it easier for you to remember the right way, okay? The second piece of advice is songs. Use these expressions, your demon expressions, in songs. Make it up. Create songs. Invent songs with them. So one of the phrasal verbs that is quite difficult for my students to remember is let down. Let someone down as a synonym of disappoint. So I just told them to maybe remember the Queen song, and you can change the lyrics of your favorite song with the demon expression. So for example, don't let me down, instead of the original lyrics, don't stop me now, right? So instead of saying don't stop me now, you say don't let me down. So this really helps you remember the most problematic phrasal verbs, the most problematic expressions. And for example, this student told me that he remembers some pieces, some bits of a song where the vocabulary that he's learning with me appears. So that's also great, okay? If you remember some songs that actually use the expressions that you're studying and the phrasal verbs that you're studying at the moment, that's impressive. That's best, okay? That's the best. Tip number 3 is colors. Highlight and choose a different color for each problematic preposition or problematic verb that you have when you're learning your demon list. So I'm going to show you right now how I do it. So some of my students' demon list is, for example, there is little chance of doing something. So I'm going to write the phrase, there is little chance, and then of, I'm going to write it in a different color, for example, green. And then obviously I'm going to make an example. I'm going to make a sentence that is true for myself, for my real life. But I'm going to use the same color even in my sentence. Of, it's going to be preposition highlighted in green, so I remember it. Another one is there is no point in doing something. So I'm going to write in red, for example. And once again, I'm going to make my own example based on my context and my life, so it's easier for me to remember, but I'm going to write the preposition in capital letters and in red. Care. Care for or care about. So I'm going to use a different color for about and for. Then it's not only about collocations or prepositions. Sometimes we also have some phrasal verbs. So I'm going to use in one sentence that is true for myself, and also I'm going to use it in a different color. So each phrasal verb or collocation in my demon list is represented with a different color, and that helps me remember them. I mean, everyone has, for example, post-its like this ones. And what you can do is create games or challenges for yourself. So with the most difficult or the trickiest expressions that you can't remember and it's impossible for you to fix that preposition in your brain, just challenge yourself. Stick the post-it on your wall, on your table, on your computer. Create blanks or quizzes with the post-its, and then try to find the right preposition, right sentences that are true for yourself, and leave them wherever you can see them every single day at all times. And I promise you, after a few days of all the post-its and the stickers all over your wall, all over your bedroom, all over your computer, I'm sure that you will learn vocabulary, training your brain to choose the right word, the right combination at the right moment, so that you can express meaning naturally on the day of the exam. And of course, if you make it competitive, if you use ChatGPT to help you create quizzes and flashcards with the vocabulary you need to fix, it will become much easier for you to remember them. Okay, guys, so that's all for me today. I hope you find this useful. See you soon. Bye.